Hey everybody, good morning. Happy Tuesday. Happy Hard Knocks Day. Hope you guys are doing well today. And I thought that since there isn't a lot else to talk about right now in terms of current events, because we did a pretty good job covering all that stuff yesterday, we would take a video here to talk a little bit about the 2027 NFL Draft again. It is a topic we will be revisiting constantly throughout the season, of course. And I understand we are 8 months away from the draft, and we've got a whole season to get through before we can even start really getting into the draft stuff. But I want to take a look and see what the other publications think, what some of the major draft experts and professionals think about what the Seahawks are going to do in 2027. This video is sponsored by Prize Picks. Now, first of all, real quick, before I get into the draft stuff here, I want to say one thing. I'm going to be a little bit busy tonight, so I'm not going to be able to get up a Hard Knocks video immediately after the episode tonight. It airs, well, it streams on Max at 6 and it's done at 7. Usually I'm able to have the video discussing the episode up by 8 at the latest. That's definitely not going to happen tonight. So I'm probably just going to go ahead and hold it until tomorrow morning, because by the time I would be able to make the video, most people would be in bed. And I think I'd rather just go ahead and post it the next morning. And then next week, we should go back to the regular schedule. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the 2027 NFL Draft. What do the early mock drafts think the Seahawks will do? And since pretty much everybody's only doing first-round mocks, we're just going to be looking at first-round picks here. So let's just go in a random order here, some major mock drafts so far. Yesterday, Bleacher Report did a mock draft of the, first round, and they went with Ahmad Moten Sr. Ahmad Moten Sr. of the Miami Hurricanes. And this is worth noting, the mock draft database, which is doing an aggregate of picks from a bunch of different mock drafts, has the same selection, Ahmad Moten Sr. So that is becoming a popular pick for the Seahawks in the first round. He's an interior defensive lineman. He's about 300 pounds. He's, I think, good value. I think he's worth about a late first or early second round pick. And he could, of course, have an even better year this year and maybe even move up a little bit from that into the firm first round. Remember, he was on a defensive line last year with 2 future first-round picks in Bain and Mesidor. So he might advance his stock a little bit this year. But overall, I do question this pick a little bit personally. When I look at Amon Moten, I see a guy who's worth a first-round pick, but I see a gap shooter. I see somebody who is a disruptive player, somebody who tries to get through the gaps in the offensive line, more so than somebody that tries to take the contact on head on. And I look at this defense and this defensive line, and I see a need for a space taker, somebody that is going to occupy blockers, somebody that isn't going to try to gap shoot a lot, because you've already got Byron Murphy, who is already kind of relegated to nose tackle stuff out of necessity just so he can get on the field. And you've got Riley Mills. And by the way, Leonard Williams is probably going to get his extension in the next couple of weeks here. So when you put all that together, I like Amon Moten, and I do like the idea of having depth on the defensive line, but I don't really know where he fits in on this current team, unless Leonard Williams is just going to leave after this season, which I guess is still theoretically possible, but I'm not a huge fan of this one. All right, guys, let's take a quick break here to talk a little bit about Prize Picks, currently the #1 sports pick app in America. The app is very easy to use. Check it out to my left here. You can do player picks, where you just pick more or less on a few player stats and lock in your lineup. Or you can pick teams, where you pick winners, spread, or total on any game or fight. The app is available in most states, including California, Texas, and Florida. Right now, they have a great offer. You can play your first $5 lineup and get $150 in lineups if you win. All you have to do is use code HMA when you sign up. It's a brand new offer. best time possible to get on the app. So get on over there and get to winning that first lineup. So remember, Prize Picks, code HMA. Download the app today, and remember to always gamble responsibly. So, on some level, I do understand that you can stack defensive line talent, edge or interior, and continue to get value out of what you're putting what the resources you're investing into it. It's not a bad idea to be overly deep at positions like defensive tackle, but I want somebody to replace Jaron Reed. I want somebody who occupies space and is more concerned with keeping the back end clean so those guys can roam. So I'm not crazy about this one. I like the player though, so I wouldn't be terribly upset about it, but I think I can do a little bit better. I think I can find a better fit. I think I can find a better need. So I'm on Moten. He's popular. A lot of people mocking him to Seattle, and I understand on some level, but I think we can do a little bit better with this one. So not my favorite right now. We also got this from SI.com. They did a mock draft in the last few days here, and they gave the Seahawks the 29th pick and did Mateo Uiagalelei. Gonna have to learn how to pronounce that name at some point because there are a lot of people with this last name who played Oregon, so it's becoming a little bit more and more common. But Mateo, this is a player that I've talked about as a potential target for the Seahawks in the past. He's an oversized edge rusher with a lot of stuff to like in his game. There's a lot of versatility. There's a lot of ability to maybe even slide inside on some passing downs. And there's the ability to, I think, be an every down player. I don't know if he has tremendous upside, which is something that you really want to try to find in the first round. But here's really the question. Can Mateo play with his hand not in the dirt? Because he's a bigger guy. He's an oversized edge. He's not a super athletic player. Some people say he runs like a 4.9 40. I don't know if that's true or not. We'll find out in the combine next year. But he might be a pure hand in the dirt player. And if that's true, he's not really a fit. However, I do think that if he can play standing up, that's really the test here. If he can get it done standing up, then I think he's actually a really good fit. McDonald likes the bigger edge rushers. He likes the guys who can hold up against the run, the guys who can hold their edge. And Mateo Uiagalelei is, to me, somebody who can do that. So I actually really like this concept, but we got to know a little bit more about Mateo before we commit to this one. But I like the idea. I'm into it. I think there are 3 edge rushers that Seattle's going to have a chance to pick at the back end of the first, and the team's going to have to decide which of those 3 fits their defense the best, because they're all kind of bigger, oversized guys, and one of them at least is going to be able to play standing up. You just got to find them. All right, so that's the SI.com one. We've got one from Walter Football here. First of all, they gave the Seahawks the 24th pick, which seems a little disrespectful to me. That's a lot higher than most of these other publications are assuming. But they gave us Tay Johnson. And I got to be honest here, that makes me want to kind of forget about the fact they gave us the 24th pick, because Tay Johnson would be an awesome pick here, I think. He is a do-it-all safety, absolute ball hawk. Took the ball away constantly for that Notre Dame defense over the last couple years. And to me, the only real gaps in his game are his man defense. He can tackle. He comes up aggressively in run support. I really like Tay Johnson, and I think that he could be a really excellent part of this defense for a long time. So if we got Tay Johnson, I'd be pretty happy with that. To me, he is somebody that would make Julian Love expendable. That is somebody that would work really well with somebody like a Bud Clark, because he is a little bit of a bigger guy, not huge or anything like that, but he's a little bit of a bigger safety, allows Nick Eamon to stay closer to the line of scrimmage, and provides everything you could want out of that position in my mind right now. So I would love that pick. I think that would be one of the best picks we could make if there's no edge rusher that we like available. And honestly, I don't think Tay will be there when we pick right now. We'll see what happens this year, but I feel like he's going to be a top 20 pick. Okay, let's see here. We got NFL Spin Zone here, a little bit of a lesser known publication powered by Fansided, But they gave Seattle the 29th pick and went with Quincy Rhodes Jr., the edge from Arkansas. This is another one of the edge rushers that I talk about with the Seahawks. We just talked about Mateo. Now you've got Quincy Rhodes, and the other guy is Kenyatta Jackson of Ohio State. I think there's a very good chance one of those three guys will be a Seahawk next year. Quincy Rhodes, similar idea here, bigger player, can play the run really well. He was very productive last year for an Arkansas team that wasn't even very good. The only question is, since he is a bigger guy, can he play standing up? Can he play in a 3-4? If he can, then I think it's a really great pick. Then I'm on board with picking him in the first, as long as he has a good season this year, of course. But can he play standing up? Can he be athletic enough? And you don't have to be a super athlete in this defense, but you got to have a little something. Can he do it? Hard to know. We'll find out over the next 8 months, I guess. So Quincy Rhodes Jr., I like the idea, but we need to know a little bit more before we commit to that one. And we got one final mock draft here from USA Today, and they keep auto-cycling, so you'll have to forgive me here. Let me, yes. Okay, here we go. So they went very unconventional here with an edge, which is not unconventional, but they went with Princewill Umanmillion, who is the brother of Princely Umanmillion, who was drafted last year, I think. So Princewill is a good prospect, but as of right now, I look at him and I see more of a second-round pick. I don't really see a guy that, let me reset the scroller real quick here. I don't see a guy who should be a first-round pick yet. That can change easily, though. Players get better, players show more, and this is going to be the show me year for Princewill. And he did have a very good year last year, so on a value level, I could see it. I don't know about the fit. He is a little bit undersized. He's 245. Maybe he can add some weight, but he's not really a strong run defender right now. His appeal is as a pass rusher, and that's great. That's valuable. And in fairness, this Seahawks team did get hot to trot on Cassius Howell last season, or excuse me, the most recent draft. And if they wanted Cassius Howell, clearly they don't value the ability to stop the run or being heavy as much as we might assume. So Princewill would be bigger and probably a little bit more versatile than Cassius was. So I can't completely dump on it right now. But as of right now, I don't really see the value. And while I see the position fit, I don't really see the scheme fit. So this one I struggle with a little bit. But I will say he has a chance to elevate himself this season. If he plays well, this is not out of the question at all. Okay, so those are some major mock drafts. And those are what they're doing with the Seattle Seahawks right now. And overall, I think that it provides a pretty decent picture of where this team is likely to go. I think that when you take a look at what's available in this draft, it makes sense that they would be attacking the defense and also in line with their likely needs. And I'm intrigued by some of this. Some of it I don't know about, but let me know what you guys think. I will see you guys later. Go Hawks. Going to be another video in a few hours. And like I said, Hard Knocks is going to get delayed, but I'll have more stuff later. Go Hawks. See you guys soon.